Hello, happy Sunday. Realtor Ryan Lally from KW Grosse Pointe. I am sitting here at 2:14 p.m. trying to be productive on this gloomy Sunday before Christmas. The state is still limiting our interaction during COVID, so no physical open houses, although we are still doing showings. I actually put 4 buyers under contract this week, so a record for me, and I'm excited that the market is still continues to be very robust even through the holidays, which looks good for 2021 outlook. So right now I just want to do a quick real estate market overview for the Grosse Pointe communities, since I would otherwise be doing an open house or maybe other dollar producing activities. I figured I'd spend this Sunday afternoon productively. Right now I'm looking at, so this is RealComp MLS, the multiple listing service, one of 2 that we use here in the southeastern Michigan. And but this gets a snapshot of all the data from the Great Lakes repository, which covers all the MLSs. So if you are using a realtor, you definitely want to make sure your realtor knows how to maximize the utility of the MLS, because aside from the National Association of Realtors and the Code of Ethics, by which we need to adhere to be in good standing, the multiple listing service access is one of the more powerful tools we realtors have exclusive use of. So with that said, I consider myself a power user of the MLS, and I've customized all sorts of stuff to maximize the utility for myself and my clients. So what I have here set up is a snapshot of all sold residential listings from January 1st to December 31st, 2020. I've chosen to just select single family residential here, but we do have the options to drill down to commercial, condominium, multifamily, and or vacant lot. So single family residential sold in the 5 points, and that's going by these MLS areas: Woods, Farms, City, Park, Shores. And that's going to give us transaction types sold. There is a filter for leases. So 845 entries into the MLS as closed out sold listings. Now keep in mind there are off-market sales for which I've contributed a few. I sold a duplex off-market, 2 duplexes off-market in the park. One was actually entered into the MLS, the other wasn't. But in any case, there are going to be sales off-market not recorded on the MLS. Those are still accessible via public record, and I can also drill down and access that for you. But this is what all of the online portal sites will grab data from, and this is the public-facing information. So 845 single-family residential sold in the 5 points. Keep in mind, within the Grosse Pointe Public School District, there are a handful of houses, several hundred houses in Harper Woods that fall into the Grosse Pointe Public School District. So we can search by school district, we can search by all sorts of physical criteria, and then I can custom draw map overlays for drilling down even further if necessary. But out of these 845 sales, let's see, most of these columns are sortable. I personally have 2 closings this week and another one between Christmas and New Year. So there will be a few more sales filtering through before the end of the year. So the best bet would be to look mid-month January to get a year in review. But since I'm doing this now, this is what we've got. 8 to 850 sales a year is fairly standard average for the Grosse Pointes. And then from the analysis standpoint, let's see, we can filter, search between highest sale price, close price. This will be the lowest first, was $65,000 in Beaconsfield, and then on the high end we had a sale of, I think it was the one on Lake Shore that Sotheby's had. Yep, 984 Lake Shore. Was that right? Yep, that's it. So Jeff Laneza So, and that captured a record $671 per square foot listed and closed at $586 a square foot. Now, that was a land contract sale, so the jury's still out. It's not necessarily a fully funded sale, but nonetheless, it was our record high. What I can do is do a quick analysis. I can export the data, and I have a data visualization background from corporate America, and so we certainly do use that export function. But just for a quick little MLS slicing and dicing, let's go to where's my landscape, CMA landscape. Okay, so this is going to give us an executive summary by category, in which case, this is just the one residential category sold. So rolling down to the bottom here, we've got this is a big PDF. We've got quite a few pages. So at the end of the day, 845 closed listings year to date, December 20th at 2:20 p.m. Average square footage, 2,358 square feet. Average lot size, and this may be skewed because not every listing has a lot size. And sometimes that's the listing broker's decision or oversight to not include that. Sometimes it's a data glitch between the two MLSs and the data repository. This, for example, was clearly not 204 acres at 652 Middlesex, so I'm going to flag that one for the MLS. And certainly garbage in, garbage out. So, if you find an inaccuracy, I think it does everybody a disservice to have that wrong, whether it's an appraiser or an underwriter or a listing broker or a seller who's trying to use comparable sales. We've got to have good data to go off of. So feel free to let me know if you see any inconsistencies, and sometimes those are confined to the third party, public facing sites, but sometimes they also are pervasive in the MLS. So let me know. We have ways to correct that. As you can see, there's several gaps and blanks in the acreage. So that's not necessarily a good data field to look at. Here's your average list price per square foot. So that's actually that's sold price per square foot. CDOM is cumulative days on market, and again, that's a field that isn't necessarily accurate because so many different things going on with a specific property when it's entered into the MLS. Sometimes you have price reduction, sometimes it's conditionally withdrawn and then put back on. Sometimes it's pulled off completely and put on as a new MLS number. So as much as I'd love to see, and I'm sure you would too, the tracker going, the odometer, if you will, of number of attempts, number of days it's been exposed to the consumer market. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. But we certainly can manually calculate those numbers if necessary, and we do have some other market statistics software to give a more surgical approach to, hey, look, in this specific price range or with these specific home search criteria, you can expect the average house to stay on the market for X number of days and even the median number of days. So we can drill down there, even though it's not necessarily a useful field here. So original price, list price. Sometimes, like I said, if there are reductions, you might see a property start at a high number and then reduce. And then, I think ultimately this is the best field we want to go off of. Sure, sales price over list price is sometimes useful, but the idea is if you're working with a full-time professional who knows the market intimately and is leveraging data, not just hunches, and giving you a pretty robust list price, chances are it's going to sell close to that list price. So the average sale price in the 5 gross points for this year is $411,235. That's pretty good. I wish my average sale price was that high. Unfortunately, still moving up in the world and gaining market share in the points, and I'd love to have the opportunity to earn your business and trust. In any case, 411,000, certainly higher than the national average, higher than Metro Detroit, at least for Wayne and Macomb counties, and and certainly a healthy consumer market here. So average percent sale over list, 95.34%. So, if you're planning to list your property and you think you have a pretty good ballpark list price, chances are it's going to sell within 5 or 4.66% of that list price. Here are some other sort of outliers in the ranges. So sold price, the high 4.8 as we saw at 984 Lakeshore, low 65,000 as we saw, median 341. So that's a little more in line with the national average. So what that says is the average is higher than the median in this case. So we've had more sales on the lower end and a fewer larger number of sales, which is skewing the number favorably towards the higher average. The mode, 270,000, again more in line with the national average. Median sale price per square foot, 169. And that's a pretty good indicator of the health of the housing inventory and the general value perceived. Typically, we're seeing properties, aside from the luxury market, north of $1 million, which can capture, as you saw, up to $650 a square foot. Typically, we're seeing, if it's 140 to 170 bucks a square foot, it's probably a 6 to an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. And then if it's north of $200 a square foot, 200 to 250 even, it's probably a 9 or a 10, and including new construction or a beautifully redone total rehab. We're even seeing developers, builders, flippers, investors put on entire second stories on one floor, single floor houses, or converting an attic to an entire second story. We're seeing nearly every vacant lot in the points being purchased and built upon, and some of them going up very quickly, even right down the street from where I live on McMillan. So definitely a demand for the higher price per square foot market. If you're seeing properties under 130, 140 a foot, certainly around 100 to 125 a foot, those are no-brainer investment properties where somebody's either going to buy it, fix it up, rent it out, or fix and flip, or potentially tear down, which is the case on Muir. 122 Muir is on the market now, and that turned out to be a total tear down, and almost new construction went up in the $500,000 range. So, and as you see, 2020 new build, the oldest house to sell was built in 1892, and if I'm not mistaken, that was 59 Lakeshore. Let's see, 59 Lakeshore. I had a buyer under contract on that. That was the old, allegedly Albert Kahn construction. Oh boy, I think it was Lake Space Shore. There it is. So built in 1892. Anyways, we've had a pretty good range of sales. Not the least of which are the quintessential M Street homes that pretty much fly off the shelf here in the farms. So Grosse Pointe Park is also very hot, and like I said, I have 2 off-market sales in the park in the second half of the year, actually. And keep in mind also that the state of Michigan actually suffered, if you will, quite a bit more than the rest of the country as far as real estate sales go. I personally pay for a professional real estate coach, and from the month of March through May 7th or 8th, we couldn't do anything really in the state of Michigan. We were on complete lockdown, whereas my counterparts and throughout this national coaching program I'm a part of, everybody's out there wheeling and dealing, and there was a lot of pent-up demand. So the fact that the market was able to recover with the loss of the March, April, and part of May is a testament to how strong the market is. And anybody who has equity and is comfortable where they're living is most likely refinancing if it's not cost prohibitive to do so. And plenty of people selling, moving, trading up, trading down, getting a condo in Florida, moving closer to family. So if you have any questions about the market, I'd love to take your calls. I'm happy to facilitate a screen share session like this, meet in person, socially distanced, of course. but I would love to be your real estate resource for the points and beyond. Certainly have access to most real estate data in the state of Michigan, and then with our Keller Williams international presence and referral network, we have world-class resources literally around the globe as well. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's useful. If you have a specific neighborhood, the municipality, zip code, school district, I'll show you some other filters we can do. Let's just go back to search criteria. So we can search by, you name it. I mean, you want to pick a street with a name, you want to find a keyword in the MLS search, I can do an asterisk power search keyword. You want to find waterfront, certain number of beds, baths, basements, fireplaces, brick homes, condos, style home, whatever. Properties offered for cash only. And then from a map overlay standpoint, we have all of these criteria to look at. I can zoom in and see additional ones, but floodplains, congressional and Senate districts for both the state and the national level, elementary, middle, high schools. And believe it or not, we can look at demographics. So air pollution, average household size, percentage of blue collar, white collar, age, median age, population age, dwelling age, years in residence, number of households, crime risk, overall personal and property, population density, and annual precipitation, 5 years plus in residence, annual residential turnover. So some of those might be good for investing and something I should look at for grabbing market share as well. SEMCOG data, census blocks, all sorts of zoning, and then we can also zoom into city resource level of data. So some trends as well. We can do overlays of the sale prices, median average, price per square foot, percentage properties distressed in foreclosure. We can aggregate at the neighborhood or zip code level, filter by single family or residential or both. And then this real AVM is something that it's an automated valuation model developed specifically for realtors through the National Association of Realtor and an RPR data program. So that'll give us, and if you're looking at specific investment criteria or whatnot, we can do that. So really powerful tools that a lot of agents don't know about or know how to use. So love to walk you through some of this if you are data driven like myself, and help you make the right informed decisions for all of your real estate buying and selling and leasing and negotiating needs. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it, or I'll find someone who does. So all the best. Happy holidays. I'm sure I'll do another one of these recaps after the new year and the data sort of dust settles. Yep, here's cheers to a happy and healthy 2021.